All right, Goose, Ronni, backstage here in the media section for Sonic Temple Day number 3. And, oh, man. All right, look, I would never blame any one person for unemployment numbers here in the country. But I will say that you might personally affect unemployment numbers come Monday because after almost 30 years in radio, this is it for me. You don't understand. This is talking with you guys is the culmination of my career, and I'm done. There's nothing left for me to do.
I thought you were gonna say that your boss that they did you dirty by making you sit here
Absolutely
with us.
not.
So, like after that, like it can't get any worse.
No.
So I'm quitting on Monday.
No, really. I mean, in all my years, this is the first fangirl moment I've ever had. My all-time favorite band. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Mike,
Thank you.
Colin, Linkin Park, getting ready to hit the main stage. Headliners for Saturday night. And, yeah, thank you so much for your time.
I got to
really
tell you,
appreciate
when he found out we had you guys to come sit down for a little bit, he cried.
Shut up.
And looked at me like
Shut
this,
up.
as if a child wanting.
it.
That's funny because I cried when I found out that we were going to come do this.
Oh, that's
did.
very kind
It's
of
true.
you.
It was
That's
hard
true.
to get me out of the dressing room.
That is very kind of you.
It.
So let's get into it real quick. I love origin stories and I love history and, you know, knowing about you guys and what you've become. It wasn't an easy start, though.
That's true.
There were a lot
That's
of
true.
trials and tribulations to get things going.
Yeah. We were talking about that just the other day because I don't remember who in our crew didn't really know about like the early days when hybrid theory was still an idea.
Right.
Like, yeah, we had to fight to get our idea across.
Yeah, for sure. And here's the other thing too with the, you know, obviously with your style of music, you see a lot of bands. If you've got your, you know, let's say a Blink 182, you got your guitar, your bass, and your drum, setting up in a garage somewhere, getting the practice time in, playing small little bars is something that a lot of bands do to up and come. That's not necessarily something for your style. You guys, you got a large crew.
Oh yeah, we
you
had
got
more
large
people.
equipment.
We
Right.
still had to play the like, you know, crappy little rooms and stuff. We still had to do all that. When was there's one of our band members is hiding behind
Joe's
the camera.
behind the
Hi,
camera.
Joe,
Hi,
huh?
Joe.
Come over here.
Joe actually had a
Joe, do you want to come in?
Oh.
Sit down.
Oh, no, he's busy.
Joe was the reason it was more difficult though because his rig was so big.
Soft-spoken. I don't like interviews.
Fair enough.
You're soft-spoken?
Fair enough.
Wait, I've heard different.
Yeah, and then, I mean, it's fun. I mean, if you think about one fun thing that's fun about having Colin here too is you have the other perspective on everything.
Production.
Like, well, no, meaning like he was listening to it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
At that time, like,
Oh,
what was
right,
your
right.
experience with it like? Because you said,
Well, I mean, I was, you know, did what you said. I was playing in bands, you know, in garages, in my parents' garage and stuff, and Linkin Park was such a bigger sound than everyone else.
Absolutely.
So it was kind of like an impossible thing to achieve. You know what I mean? Like nobody was really that I knew was like covering Linkin Park songs. It was just too hard to do.
Right.
And so
You know?
distinctive.
hard to cover. That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't thought.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad Colin's here because I wouldn't have thought of that. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah.
Well, it
So-
takes a special sound, a special group. Of course, you can't help but mention there's only one Chester. So you try and cover that and try and do that. It's not going to happen.
And also the sounds, like we had all of these sounds that we made ourselves, like
Yes.
that are very unique to each song. So yeah, people who would like estimate those, it would sound crazy. And by the way, it's funny. I'm glad we're talking about this too because with our new record, it's called From Zero, and one of the reasons it's called From Zero is because back then we were called Zero.
Right.
Like the band our very first name was XERO.
Yep.
And then after that it was Hybrid Theory, and after that it was Linkin Park.
So that reminds me, what's like the weirdest sound you guys have ever put into one of your songs that you can think of? Because there's been a lot,
We
right?
did some little weird ones on the new record. I know that like the shaker, I don't know if you know this, Colin, the shaker and the pre-chorus of Points of Authority is a sugar packet.
What?
That's one of those.
Really?
Yeah. I
What
know
sugar
that.
did you use?
Huh?
What sugar was it?
It was some
Was it the yellow, the
Splenda.
blue, or the pink?
some BS white sugar that was
Right.
sitting in the studio. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously like, you know, there's a myriad of Linkin Park albums, which I'm sure we could sit here and I could interview you about this actually.
We nerd out. That's a leading question. That's a question you don't want to ask the two of us because
Yeah.
of anybody in the band or even our crew, we're two of the people that will do that for 6 hours and not stop, and just like it'll be annoying for pretty much everybody else.
When you guys get together and start working on music and producing and creating, is it chaos, is it balance, or is it somewhere like in between? How do you manage all that?
Well, I mean, you've got such an understanding of where you're already going. So I feel like by the time I'm invited into the equation, it's usually like Mike's got an idea very clearly, and I just think that takes experience as a producer. And you've usually got like a really clear vision, and it's open-ended too, so it doesn't have like an end point, but you got like a pretty clear path. And that's sometimes in producing, it's like the hardest thing to do is to get the trains on the tracks. So
like we sometimes will just start.
You know?
Sometimes it is like here's a chord progression and some words or a melody. Other times it's just like you ever heard of like a writing exercise where it's like if somebody's a writer, like literally writes stories, you might start with a prompt and it might be okay, here's the environment, here's your character, now what happens?
Yes.
Like sometimes will come in and say these songs came up on my playlist, like on my phone on random, and in the car on the way here, and I noticed a similarity between them. Like, let's focus on what makes those 3 songs similar. They have a similar groove, they have a similar tempo, the lyrics start on this count, like weird things like that where you pay attention to them, you notice these things. You go, cool, I just want to make a song in that tempo with a verse that starts on the second beat of the pattern, and so on. And all of a sudden you've got like a little framework to get things rolling.
So with From Zero, a lot of bands have had trials and tribulations. A lot of bands have had members, kind of come and go, and not all survive. And now, thank you for keep going.
Thank you. Thank
without a doubt. And I think you have found something amazing in Emily, and to continue what Linkin Park was, but where they can go. With this new album, was a lot of stuff written beforehand, or is it written with Emily or for Emily, or was this already
It was
ideas?
both. Yeah, it was both.
Okay.
Both. We had some songs before. Some of the songs were in good shape, like they sounded like the song before everybody kind of got. I want to say like formalized. Like
right.
The album came into focus slowly musically, and the band also came into focus slowly. Like so. In the beginning, when songs were like a couple of the songs started becoming obvious. They were like, "Oh, that's a good song. We like that song. We like Emptiness Machine," and that was the same time. It's like we should invite Colin in some more. I want Colin to play drums on this song. I want Emily to sing this song. Like those were the things that would happen, every few weeks in the beginning, and then it was closer and closer and closer, and then it was every day.
I know what it meant for me to get the phone call to join the Blitz and host the morning show there. It was probably one of the greatest phone calls I've ever received in my life. What was the phone call like when it's like, hey, can you come along and join this party?
It wasn't like as like instantial one moment as everybody as I would like it to be.
Okay.
It was more of a slow process, like Mike kind of talked about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think by the time it was basically like hey, we really enjoy your friendship and enjoy your being around you and all that stuff, and we don't know what this is going to look like, but we'd love for you to be a part of this journey however it ends up.
Okay.
And that was like maybe the phone call that you're kind of referring to.
Right.
I wonder if part of the reason why it was so slow and there wasn't like a day where it was like, boom, this is the thing, is because you guys are also very perceptive. Like, like your brains had already kind of gone like, I think this something is happening. Like, I think we're going in like all the time. Like, we're writing so many songs together. Emily's singing on all of them. Colin's playing drums on all of them. I had already kind of hinted at like, if we got some offers to play some shows, and I'd hinted at them like, if we did that, like, do you think you'd be available to come with us?
Right.
And that, I think that was maybe the conversation that was more like what you're talking about. Because I know for Emily, she told me that we had that conversation. It was like me and Dave and Joe and her, and we had that conversation with her, and she was like, yeah, I could do that, sure. And we were like, oh, cool. She was so chill about it, and she said she left that day going like, oh my god,
So-
oh my
Right,
god,
yeah.
You
like
can
they asked
see
me
that.
to go do shows with them. Like, this is crazy. But she didn't give that away at all. She played it super, super cool.
So if I'll add to that, something you may not actually know is, so that day that happened, it was me. I was in the studio that day, and they like took her to a different place and we're talking to her.
just,
and
like, in
I
the
was,
next room.
yeah, in the next room, and I was like still working on the track or whatever. And when she left, I was so excited for her. Because I knew what it was, because you guys have kind of alluded to it or whatever, and I kind of knew. I was like, I know what this is about, and I'm so happy for Emily because I love Emily, and she's like such a rad person. And we left the session together to walk to our cars, and I was like, all right, well, she was going on vacation, whatever, and we were about to break for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
For a couple weeks, and she goes, I'll see you soon, though. And I was like, interesting. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then
She was gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
she's gone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And then in that time frame, they gave me a call and we all sat down and had a chat. So.
Okay.
Well, the whole Emily Armstrong thing was so exciting for so many people. I was a huge, and still am, a huge Dead Sara fan.
Awesome.
And saw her with her band at a little place called A&R Music Bar right out of COVID. Now, this place is about as big as this little room right here, this little bay. So tiny, and she was so amazing. I mean, Johnny and I, when they toured, they had no gas money. We bought a ton of their CDs. We bought My Heroes Are Dead T-shirts, and we bought all of it. We gave them gas money. We're like, you guys are so fucking great. Like, we loved it. And we were just completely blown away. And then to find out that she's going to become part of Linkin Park was so joyous. And it has become such an amazing combination of talent. So it was an amazing pick, perfect pick. You guys are so amazing.
Every
Oh my
single
God.
is
Can I say
a
amazing
smash
one more
off
time?
this new album. It's unbelievable. We only have a couple minutes left with you guys, so real quick, fun question. We do a little fun thing on Mondays, usually called Mount Rushmore Monday. We'll pick a category and what belongs on that Mount Rushmore. And to me, when it comes to rock music, there's no Mount Rushmore. There's the Statue of Liberty. You guys are it. Done. But Mount Rushmore music.
All music?
Or whatever.
Oh,
we'll go.
no.
We'll go with rock.
We got
Four.
You want to just do rock music?
Rock, It's got to be just rock music.
Just rock
rock
music.
music.
Oh God, Colin, help me.
Like
What
all-
do we get? Like all?
Whatever you want.
Are we going
Who's
back
on your Mount
for-
Rushmore?
Like, are the Beatles a rock band? I mean,
Sure.
Zeppelin's a rock.
I'll tell you what.
band.
Let's not include the Beatles because that's kind of like an obvious one.
Okay.
They're like pop-
So
I'm
let's
just trying
not
to
do
set
that.
some boundaries on the conversation.
understandable.
Let's say not the Beatles.
Okay, not the
Beatles
Beatles.
forward rock music.
Beatles forward.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Not
So-
including the Beatles.
What about Led
Um,
Zeppelin? Does that count?
I'm a big Zeppelin fan. I love Zeppelin. I feel like I feel like Zeppelin was a gateway drug for me because they were sampled in hip hop so much. I was listening to 90-something% hip hop. Like, it was almost all hip hop. And when I heard, the Beastie Boys sampled Zeppelin and like these other Rick Rubin things, like it just made me go listen to them and like album after album, I was like, that was the first rock band I was obsessed with. So
Yeah.
they belong on there for me.
For me, it's Rage Against the Machine, which
Okay.
is actually kind of a derivative of Led Zeppelin also.
That's
Mhm.
funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, I can totally see that, yeah.
Rage Against the Machine for me, and that was actually one of the first intros to like hip hop.
Okay.
Also, so that's mine.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm a little sad that I'm getting you for the new album for the festival for the first time because I'm not getting that 3 hour and 11-minute set that I saw at other places, unfortunately.
Hey,
So I'll have to-
I don't think we've hit 3 yet. We haven't hit 3. If you saw that, that's not.
That's not accurate.
That's fake news.
Okay, fake news.
But
Fake
it's
news.
more than 215. I think we broke 215 at some point.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, I cannot thank you enough. Again, this is an absolute dream come true. I cannot wait to see you guys
Thank you.
take the main stage
Have
with this new
have
album.
we played other festivals at this point? Did we play one?
We just did one. We did
Yeah.
the
One.
one in
Rock on.
Riyadh,
That was
Saudi
it.
Arabia. So this is like our
Yeah.
first.
And that wasn't like a rock festival. That was
No.
just like a bunch of
It was kind of bunch of
different
stuff.
Different
Before
stuff.
I let you
So
scoot, can
cool.
I ask a question?
Yeah.
So Emily used to dive back into the drum kit. Does she do that with you? Because I'm so worried about her getting impaled. And also, you have a very nice drum kit.
He's got a bigger drum kit than she was used to flying into.
Yeah.
Right.
Dead Sara's drum kit wasn't quite as many
Yeah.
pieces.
I can't speak on that. One thing I can say is she's been known to and has done this, like jump in the crowd. at times.
However, I don't think there's a single person in the surrounding us who is in support of that move.
Yeah, I
Right.
agree.
They're
Yeah,
all
no
like-
one wants that.
They are just panicked. They saw her do that the other night, and they're just like, "Oh no, please
Can't have that
don't."
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That
pretty funny.
launch.
Yeah.
Well,
You'll just have to keep watching and see.
We will.
You know.
We'll watch. I'll be there. Right up.
again, this is my first time at Sonic Temple after joining the station, and so for you guys to be here as headliners, cannot thank you enough.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much for
so
your
much.
time.
Thanks a lot.
It is Goose and Ronni backstage, Linkin Park, about to take the main stage for day 3 of Sonic Temple. It doesn't get any better than this. 99.7 The Blitz.